Kevin Harlan here along with Clark Kellogg. A contest in the last time they met, but the whole just couldn't pull out the win.
May have been the worst effort you'll see from them all season long. Even for a game they weren't supposed to win, it should not have been that bad.
Against a lesser team, that performance wouldn't have been good enough that they had.
Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. And Golden State looking at who they've got. Green at the 4 with Bogut at the 5. Harrison Barnes is out there with Curry, and it's Thompson in at the 3. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
Well, I tell you what, Ricky Rubio has everything you want out of a player except one thing. He has to learn to shoot it better. Rubio can defend, he can pass, he can lead a team, but until he becomes a better shooter, I think he's going to short-circuit his potential.
A 3-ball. Second shot opportunity, and Green with the lay-in. Green's got his first bucket in this one.
Oh, that is just weak.
Look at that shot! How did that go in? How about that? Oh! Barnes.
And they ran their offense nearly to perfection in that one. Very few possessions were wasted.
Yeah, they put the mute button on them that time. I mean, in front of a hostile crowd, they never let the fans get going. They silenced them over and over again with big, timely shots.
Now, here's Rubio. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Raptors in Toronto.
And equally as impressive, the playmaking. Just sensational. The way he was seeing the court and making the game easy for his teammates.
Andre Iguodala is checked in for the Warriors. Warriors have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. And the shot falls short this time. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. They grabbed their own miss. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
And we're about a minute and a half into the first quarter. Curry against Rubio. Curry dishes to Bogut. And again, it's the Warriors missing. Minnesota comes into this one following a loss to the Raptors in Toronto.
And I think they can hold their heads high.
Oh, look out, and then you throw him stuff like that. And you go, oh my, how does it even go in? He pulls a Houdini.
Oh, goodness.
Curry's shot is good. Rubio with it. He gives the team some steady offense, a bit under 10 points a game, and it's well off target.
Oh, my goodness. That's like temporary insanity right there.
Do you think he realizes we've actually got a game, a serious game taking place here? I have my doubts, partner.
Now here's Towns. His last outing, 16 points for him. And the officials call a traveling violation. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Here's Curry. Again, Curry missing.
That's a huge part of what they want to do defensively. Limit his easy chances inside.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. And now a look at the point guards who have been taking matters into their own hands this past month. These are the top scorers at their position. Number 1, Steph Curry.
Being at the top of that list, I mean, he's obviously been able to take it upon himself to give his team an offensive jolt whenever they've needed it.
And that's value added for a point guard. I mean, when you're playing that position and you score and do the other things he does, he creates offense for his teammates, and he can get his own offense too.
The Warriors shooting their first free throw of the game.
And Draymond Green, guys, has won at every level. I mean, led Saginaw High School to 2 consecutive state championships at Michigan State, 2 trips to the Final Four, and now making noise.
Now, here's Rubio.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
It's deflected. And here they go. And here we go with Curry running it up the court. And he lays it up and in. Curry's got 5 points so far.
And just a nice bucket there to really just sustain that lead.
Well, a few more possessions like that, and they'll do more than sustain the lead, Greg. I think they'll start to put this thing away by pulling away.
Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Adrian Payne's checked in for Towns. Muhammad comes in for Andrew Wiggins. Martin's checked in for Zach LaVine. And Jones subbed in for Ricky Rubio. Golden State also making some changes. Spates checked in for Bogut. Rush comes in for Draymond Green. And it's Livingston in for Steph Curry. So the Timberwolves called their first timeout. And here's a little known fact, Clark. Only 3 players have recorded at least 2 triple-doubles in the NCAA tournament. They are Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, and Draymond Green.
That's some elite company for Draymond Green. He's a hard worker, a guy you love if he's on your team. He can be an irritant if he's not with you, but continues to improve and prove his doubters wrong.
And the Warriors making a change here. Barbosa's checked in.
I tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
Rebound, Minnesota. 1:53 left here in the first quarter. Jones got a piece of it. And here we go with Barbosa. Heading to the hoop. Good. Barbosa's got his first points of the game.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Now Iguodala, following Tyus Jones' 3-point attempt, got that one up quick.
How about the start that they've gotten off to here? Huge lead, and we're still in the first quarter.
And, guys, it hasn't just been the scoring. I mean, they're playing tremendous defense, too.
Here is Livingston. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Now Payne. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. Now the Warriors moving it up. Here's Iguodala. Rips down the breakaway slam.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Clearly, he's not pleased with all the looks they've given up on the inside, and also to get them to tighten up that defense.
Yeah, and I think he's going to let them know about it. I mean, they're playing some soft interior defense, and you can't win that way. That's a recipe for disaster if you're not going to play with some physicality inside.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
Cannot be happy with how things have gone during this run. I think it's a good decision to take a break.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. I mean, he had to do something. They're getting buffaloed and beat up. He couldn't let that continue. He had to call the timeout there.
Some changes for Minnesota. Tayshaun Prince is checked in for Shabazz Muhammad. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Kevin Martin. Different look here for the Warriors. Anderson Varejau's checked in for Iguodala. Ian Clark comes in for Brandon Rush. Steph Curry's checked in for Leandro Barbosa. And it's Klay Thompson in for Shaun Livingston.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there, dead on target.
It's Curry outside. Count the bucket. Curry's got 8.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up. A little more sense of urgency.
Yeah, they've got to do a little more to disrupt their offensive rhythm, too.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. Warriors leading by 17. Takes a 3. Tayshaun Prince with the rebound. So it's Minnesota now. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
There's the bucket. Good.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammates.
On Its way from Curry for 2. That's good on the jump shot. Curry's got 10 points in the game.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that.
Long range from the inbound. Got it! Oh, got it! What a shot!
3 points at the buzzer.
Definitely an answer to prayer there.
And Steph Curry, a player with in the gym range. He told us about it.
Anywhere 5-6 feet.
I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look to Steph Curry? And tough to guard might be the understatement of the day.
I mean, he is just an insanely great shooter. I mean, arguably, I don't think there's an argument. He's the best shooter in the world. The argument is whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Curry is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Warriors.
It looks like they're ready to run, fellas. I mean, they haven't hesitated at all to get out on the break so far.
And also, they're jumping on a lot of turnovers, making sure they turn them into points at the other end.
The athletic duo of Levine and Wiggins on the perimeter. Towns is out there with Payne, and it's Rubio in at the point guard position. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Warriors leading by 22.
And remember Klay Thompson's father, Michael Thompson, a former #1 pick out of Minnesota. Growing up, he was the smallest of his brothers and thereby took his lumps when they played hoops. But he said that challenge helped him to develop into the player he is today.
And the Warriors making a change here. Barbosa's checked in. Golden State's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. And again, no good by Golden State.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
And, Greg, that's exactly what he gives you. I mean, he's constantly making his presence felt around the rim.
Muhammad, he's checked in for Minnesota. Warriors have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. That's a 2 from Barnes. And the Warriors miss again.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that. Move the basketball.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm not quite sure what his mindset or what he was thinking there. I mean, that was just a terrible shot.
Rush's shot is off. For Minnesota, they've gone 0 of 4 in the second quarter. Obviously, that needs to change. Towns, the pass to Levine. They double him with Green, so the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Hey, for Zach LaVine, the dunk contest last season was his coming out party to the world. He put on a show that everybody in the NBA was buzzing about.
And that one misses. And for LaVine and his dunking, if you saw him in college or last season, you knew he was a very special player in the air.
Well, LaVine can be one of the great all-time dunkers with his height and ability to lift off. He gets airborne so effortlessly that there are few that can match his power and finesse once he's airborne.
Livingston, that's good. Here's Levine. He's making his presence felt offensively with his scoring average up there at almost 13 points a game. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Warriors leading by 23. Shoots. That one a little long.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
Great open look there. Towns has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Green inside the three-point line. Scoring his third straight basket in 3 tries.
And he could be the guy to put this game out of reach. Well, guys, in the NBA, you learn things by doing them in game-time action. And Andrew Wiggins had plenty of time to learn on the job. He was second in the league in minutes played last season, only behind James Harden.
And the Timberwolves call time here. Looking over the numbers again, Greg, Wiggins logged a ton of minutes as a rookie, over 36 minutes a game, Clark. That led all rookies in the NBA.
And how about leading everybody in the league in minutes played after the All-Star break, Kevin? Almost 40 minutes a game is what he averaged after the All-Star break.
Jones checked in for Levine. And some changes here for the Warriors. Minnesota's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Wiggins, and there's the bucket. Stay with it on the offensive glass, getting it done.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident. And Steph Curry, 6'3" and about 195. I mean, a slender frame. You look back to high school and college, and that was one of the question marks. Did he have the strength to succeed?
The first free throw is good. And speaking of Curry's slight build, he's worked up and bulked himself up. He's added some muscle. He even got up to 200 pounds, I think he said. But he didn't feel real good, Clark, at that weight.
Yeah, it's not about the weight, Kevin. It's about strength. You need it to fight through screens and attack the rim, and he's clearly put on the strength he needs to play at his highest level. Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin.
And that one's good by Clark.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense.
For Minnesota, they've gone 3 of 8 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter.
Excellent job to track down the long board.
Warriors leading by 22. They get it back. Another shot, and the layup is up and in.
Guys, he's having a ball out there. I mean, we knew going in that he'd have an advantage on the glass, but I didn't think he could be this dominant. What a difference.
Jones. That's tipped. Here's Looney. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And a look at the 2K leaderboard now at the list of centers and power forwards who have been in a great rhythm at the free throw line over the last 10 games. Maurice Spates, number 1.
Yeah, he's got a great rhythm and form at the foul line. Sometimes we don't see that in the big fellas, but he is automatic up there.
Yeah, just call him Mr. Sure Thing. He's developed a really nice, consistent free throw stroke. And it's good to see somebody destroying that myth that big guys can't make their free throws. No Hack-a-Shaq here.
Yeah, real nice shot selection there. I guess he's working on his buzzer beater form.
That's a reach, but perhaps that is the case. Or maybe he was trying to knock a bird off of the scoreboard.
Is about right. Because I still can't figure that one out.
No, I see no birds up there.
No.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here.
Yeah, maybe a change of the game plan right now, looking at some different sets because of the matchups.
Yeah, I agree with you because they're looking to tweak things to maybe get those matchups working in their favor.
Minnesota making some changes. Rudez checked in for Towns. Prince comes in for Muhammad. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Jones. The Warriors also with a sub. Green's checked in. Wiggins with the block. Rudez. The shot is off. Curry with the defensive effort. Looney. The Warriors have gone 5 of 12 from the field here in the second. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. Timberwolves really have a tough one to go here. Payne, and it's blocked by Curry. Golden State's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Looney passes to Green. Payne grabs the board.
The fadeaway was the right shot there because it got his attempt away from the defender, but the touch was poor.
Steph Curry does so many things well, Clark, on the floor, but one area he had struggled with was turning the ball over.
Yeah, and after a slow start, Kevin, to the year in the turnover department, Curry was able to slowly right the ship.
And he gets it to go.
And let's see, guys, if that triggers another little explosion from him after hitting 3 triples in that first quarter.
Payne can't hit.
I think he's got to regroup and get himself together here. I mean, something's gone wrong with him this quarter. He's really fallen off.
The shot by Looney, no good. The Timberwolves shooting 23% from the field. That's not going to get it done. And stolen by Spates. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Spates.
And a chance here to check out some stats on Steph Curry. Unbelievable play for him over the last month. Averaging about 32 points a game, 7 assists, and just over 2 steals. And you love his anticipation. All those steals, he's always a step ahead, reading plays before they develop.
Well, he's sneaky. I mean, you don't think he's watching you, then all of a sudden, he's got the ball heading the other way.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with the pass.
Wiggins from outside. Draymond Green pulls it in. Green's got rebound number 5 here tonight. From deep three-point range. Payne. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. Some changes for Minnesota. Gorgie Dangs checked in for Payne. Martin comes in for Damian Rudez. And Levine subbed in for Andrew Wiggins. Different look here for the Warriors. Andre Iguodala is checked in for Spates. Rush comes in for Looney. Leandro Barbosa, he's checked in for Curry. And it's Barnes in for Ian Clark. Andrew Bogut checked in for Draymond Green. There's 21 seconds left in the second quarter. The Warriors shooting 47%, pretty solid. Iguodala outside. Two on the clock, and that's good for 2. Iguodala's got 8 points. And through one half, it hasn't even been close. The Warriors on top, running away with this one. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, Ricky, what does it say about...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome, everyone. We'll be taking a look back at what was clearly a one-sided first half of action. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. The first half was all about Stephen Curry. He ended up with 17 points and 2 blocks. He came into tonight following a tremendous performance last time out and looks eager for a repeat. Taking a look at the Warriors, Kenny, what'd you think? Shaq, what'd you think about Minnesota?
On defense, they've been all over the place, especially when it comes time to protecting the rim. They struggle in a lot of areas, but they got to toughen up inside. It's a tough matchup for them right now, but that interior presence has to improve if they want to chip away at that deficit.
All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just about time for the start of the...
Okay, fans, put your hands together. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Really an incredible game from Stephen Curry.
It's been about his ability to just lock down the opponent from a defensive standpoint. A lot of shots also being blocked.
That reach he's shown, Greg, has certainly been fantastic in getting to some of these shots. I mean, he looks like he's got telescopic arms out there.
And on the floor for Steve Kerr as we get into the second half. The defensive stalwarts, Green and Bogut, are down low. Curry is out there with Harrison Barnes. And it's Thompson in at the 3 spot. And that's going to be a treble.
Here we can see, Kevin, where the Warriors rank in the NBA right now. First in scoring. First in assists. And they're also number 1 in three-point shooting. This is a team that loves to cast up shots from behind the arc.
And you go back to their offense, the most explosive in the league. I mean, everyone talks about the great offense beating great defenses. And I tell you what, they make it difficult to hang with them.
And for the Timberwolves, they're shooting a rough 22% so far in this one.
And how about Harrison Barnes, the Black Falcon? I mean, he was a high school phenom in Ames, Iowa, and a lottery pick back in 2012 after 2 seasons at Carolina. Remember also in high school, he was a teammate of Dougie McBucket.
Minnesota calls timeout. Harrison Barnes, of course, went to North Carolina, grew up as a huge fan of former Tar Heel Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you know, interesting, his mother started taping Jordan's games on the VCR years before he was born. His given name, Harrison Bryson Jordan Barnes. How about that for a factoid?
I didn't know that.
Nor did I.
About 1 minute played here in the second half. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Wiggins has got 5 points so far. Curry with a wide open look. Again, Curry missing.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
From deep. But they'll get another chance. Rubio. No luck. And it's the Warriors taking it the other way. 3-on-3. Here's Thompson. Here's Barnes. And the rejection by Jang.
Tell you what, shooting 20% to start the second half doesn't bode well for how this will play out for this squad.
Pulls it up. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
The defense needs to play tight on him, and that's exactly what they did to force that miss. Well done.
And the Warriors miss again.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that.
That's tipped. Fades back. Timberwolves keep it alive.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys. Really quite surprising to see the huge edge they have in rebounds given what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, not typical. They've been dominant on the board, but they are still falling short on the scoreboard.
Now a timeout called by Golden State. Karl Anthony Towns didn't come into the previous year as the most highly touted prospect, Clark, but his play last year at Kentucky would change that.
No question about it. People knew he was going to be good, Kevin, but few saw him being this good. He showed he could do a little bit of everything as a Kentucky big.
Shabazz Muhammad's checked in. And the basket by Jones.
And that's just showing off right there, guys. I mean, he is too good with that crossover.
Here's Livingston. And nothing is falling for him right now. For Minnesota, they've gone a somewhat subpar fourth.
A night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
And Green gets it to go.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it inbounds that time. Big bodies and soft hands. Well, that's what these guys possess. The top assisting centers and power forwards this year. Number 1, Draymond Green.
You think of some of the great passing big men over the years, and they are some of the best players ever. I mean, period. I'm sure that's not lost on him.
Certainly not. I mean, it's precisely why he's worked so hard to become the passer he is today. He didn't want to just be a scorer. He wanted to be a complete post player, and he's done it.
Minnesota's gotten 1 of 6 three-pointers to drop since coming out of the locker room at halftime. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel.
His turnovers haven't helped their cause. It's almost as if he's playing for the other team.
Brandon Rush, he's checked in for Golden State. Barbosa comes in for Klay Thompson. That'll be a 5-second call.
And let's take a look here at the numbers for Gorgui Dieng. The last 10 games, he has been on a heck of a run. 8th in field goal percentage. And don't forget, top 20 in the league in rebounds per game. He's got a great nose for the ball.
And, you know, back to his phenomenal efficiency from 3. His consistent shooting creates a lot of openings in the defense.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Martin's checked in. Here's Rush. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Jang's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Goes up from the top of the key. It's rebounded by Livingston.
And another miss. Oof, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. Muhammad with the steal. The Timberwolves shooting 23% from the field. That's not going to get it done.
And he's clearly just disappeared here this quarter, not making any contributions here with his offense.
And, Greg, it's been hard to watch. I mean, you can see his frustration. He's actually looking forward to the end of this period so he can have a fresh start for the next one.
On defense, Minnesota. Rush gets the bucket.
Well, you know, last season Steve Kerr came into a good situation, but a touch awkward. The team wasn't 100% on board with the firing of the previous coach, but he won them over in a hurry.
For three, Barbosa. And the Warriors get it back. Stolen by Martin. Shot to stop the run. Leandro Barbosa with the rebound.
The tough shots aren't going down for him right now, but neither are the easy ones. I mean, he's got to find the rhythm somehow.
Greg, Steve Kerr did win over the locker room in a hurry last season. They had finished a successful run under Mark Jackson. Winning accelerates everything. They certainly bought into it.
They really did. And people don't often appreciate how difficult it is to come into a situation where expectations are that high. But he also went out of his way to empower his players and really give them some accountability. Didn't try to hide anyone on defense and played to the strength.